This video is made for adult collectors because Ninja Turtles is also, I think, 40 years old. See, I like this, but I also like this. There we go. That's better. That took me like 3 tries. Oh my god. I didn't even fall over, damn. I've wanted a Transformers Ninja Turtle figure for a while. I was always under the mindset that they would do 4 turtles that would combine into the van, kind of like how 5-2 Toys did it, but they only did it with 2 each. But this was probably the better way to do it due to it being easier to engineer and more affordable than 4 toys. This is Party Wallop, a Transformer that turns into the turtle van. And the way they did the 4 turtles is really epic. More on that later though, because I want to say crossover figures have come a long way since X-Pants and His Tank Megatron. This feels solid, sturdy, chunky, and poses like a super modern figure. The last couple of collab figures, Code Red and Frankentron, were super good and gave me hope that this toy that was going to be also pretty good, and I wasn't disappointed. Now, he is Ghibli. The way they do the alt mode parts, it's like armor for the turtles, which is great. And he's a shell former, but he is also like a turtle, so that makes complete and utter sense. The best thing, though, that they did here was how they get all 5, yes, 5 turtles to work in this. Swappable foreheads. You get a forehead for each turtle with their colored bandana and a rotating belt buckle to give you Leonardo, Donatello, Raphael, Michelangelo, and Wallop, the new guy. Putting the blank head on and the chest piece into place, this is Party Wallop, and it's my least favorite configuration, so let's get back to the actual turtles. This particular figure right here is going to be Raph for me because he's my favorite of the 4, but I have others coming to make the other 3 to complete the whole squad. I don't think I'm gonna do the whole 5 figures thing, but 4 is enough for me. This looks super cool. A bit lacking in the detail department, but that kind of matches the older turtle toys that I had when I was a kid. I love the shade of green they picked and the yellow, though I wish there was a bit more green on him. He does have an actual turtle shell, which is amazing. It's the roof of the truck, and if you don't like the spoiler, it's removable. It's on a 5mm peg, so that it's optional, but it's epic. But the shell does way more than just be there and complete the look of the turtle. It stores all the optional heads, the bow staff, and the swords. The nunchucks also go in the shoulder pads, and the sais go on his hips, and the shield goes on his arm. I love how every single accessory has a dedicated place to store, and like most of them are hidden away. That's awesome. The head sculpt is nice with the teeth and the nose, but also looking robotic enough to fit with the rest of the design. He's also fairly posable for a chunky idiot. The kibble is a tiny bit annoying, but it has several ways of moving out of the way to accommodate the ninja poses you'd want to get him into. There are a couple times within this video where I forget to do the belt buckle, but swap the head. So let's just do that now. There we go. Now it's properly Leonardo. We're gonna do Leonardo for the articulation. So we focus. The head is on a ball joint. You get some really nice tilt out of it. You can look up that far. You can look down that far. The focus is being all weird. There we go. One thing about the head is it's on this plate, right, for transformation. But if it is not pulled out all the way, if it's like slightly down a bit, when you rotate the head, it's going to push the shell out. So you have to make sure that it is completely pulled up as far as it can go, and that way you can rotate the head without knocking the shell out of place. Because the shell tabs in here and here, and they're not the most secure tabs in the world. They stay, like they're not going to fall out. But if you so much as like bump it slightly, there it goes. So it is a tiny bit annoying, but you get that much articulation in the head. The shoulders can do a full 360 degrees. The shoulder pad can move out to accommodate the arms can go out. They can go out full T-pose. You have bicep rotation, 90-degree elbow bend. You have wrist rotation. Also, the shoulder pads can swivel. That's more for transformation, but they can still do that. You do have a waist joint. Now the hips can go forward that far. They can go back that far. You move these hip skirts out of the way. They can go out that far, and the hip skirts can shift up and down to go wherever you want them to go. I like them up personally. You do have a thigh rotation. You have a single jointed knee that bends 90 degrees. You have ankle tilt, and if you want to unpeg this, which you can see it already unpegging when I activate the ankle tilt, you can get foot forward. And it does a pretty good job at like keeping him stable It's not this foot. This one's a little loose. This one, I think, is the one where it's... Yeah, that's the one that's good. So you do have that option. Oh, and then the heels move. So he's pretty damn posable for something that's this chunky. Like, I thought he was just going to be a brick that I was going to stand there like this and have all 4 turtles standing there. But no, you can actually get them into pretty decent poses. And the only thing that I don't like about his dynamic nature is that Donatello's staff is way too small. It can only go in his hand like this. That's it. But everything else, you can get him to look super dynamic even though he is such a chunky ass dude. That sword fell on the floor. Because, like, he has the joints. He has everything there. The only problem I have is the backpack comes undone. It's really annoying. But you can do, like, oh, we're ready for a fight pose. Even though he's a brick. So yeah, the robot, I like it a lot. It's fun, it's chunky, and everything feels super solid. The only thing I don't like really don't like, is the backpack tabs. I wish they were a bit more secure. Now, van time. So again, just sticking with Leonardo because I couldn't be bothered to swap anything. Let's go into van mode. So this is a very interesting transformation that transforms kind of how you would expect, but also a couple things that you wouldn't expect. And one thing I had to modify on my copy, I don't remember anyone else pointing this out, but there's a very useless tab on this toy. I get what it's there for, but it causes more trouble than it does anything good, so I'll point that out. But to start with, we're going to open the backpack, take it down, shove the head all the way in until it sits flat. Then take the whole backpack, bring it up. We're actually also going to plug the chest in. We'll fold in the 5mm peg, put the chest back on for Wallop. So you bring that forward and up. You want to take these sections and bring them out. They're going to form the side of the van. And you fold down the fists. And then you want to, oops, don't pop the chest plate off. Bring the arms in while rotating the shoulders, the shoulder pads, I should say. So you bring the arms in while rotating the shoulder pads, and then the top of the roof will peg into them, and then they'll sit here. Then you can take the rest of the roof, peg it onto the top, rotate these sections up. And now we're going to take the arms, peg them together, together, and then bring it up and peg it into the back of the van, like that. Now we'll work on the legs. So you want to take the wheels, flip them out, fold up the heels, unclip and bring the feet up, and then peg the legs together, and then straighten out the whole leg assembly. And then at the waist, you want to crunch it so that it goes all the way back, and it's going to peg into here and into the spoiler. So that sort of keeps the entire back of the van together in a nice satisfying click. And there you go. Now, we're going to make sure these legs are properly straight. You bring these sections, well, these sections first. This is where I had to cut something off. So I don't know how well you're gonna be able to see that, but you see right there, that little line, there was a tiny little tab sticking out of that. And that tab kept bumping into this piece, and it's meant to clip it into place. That's the whole point of the tab. But there's enough friction in this joint because there's technically 3 different pieces going into one hinge that it doesn't need that piece. And rather than push it out, I just cut it off, and it came off fairly easily. And now everything stays lined up flush, whereas this used to stick out a little bit every time, and it was kind of annoying. So you just bring this section up and around and in and peg it together. Then you fold these out, and these will sort of just clip everything into place. But before you do that, you want to clip it together first and then peg it in, otherwise it'll just bow out and be annoying. Clip that all together, peg that in. Now, all of the shell, like the heads and the bow staff and the nunchucks, they can all stay where they're supposed to in robot mode to alt mode. But the size and the swords have to move. So the size peg into the thighs. That rhymed and that wasn't supposed to. And then you can take this sword and push it into here. And then take this sword and push it into here. Come on, there we go. And that is the storage for the weapons, and that is Party Wallop in his van mode. So that is a cool ass alt mode. And it has a pizza on the front, which I accidentally flung out because it's kind of hard to remove, if I'm being completely honest. I love this. I do wish there were some more details on the outside, like spray paint or some gunk, because this is a van in the sewer. But it's a nice size though. Being about liter price, it's a modern liter in heft, size, feel, and general playability, so I think it kind of works. I like how everything is stored still, but I do wish the swords didn't stick out so far from the front. I wish they hid away a little bit more. The cannons are blast effect compatible and articulated. They can go up and down. And if you want, you can take all the stuff off the van to have a plain van if you want with cannons, because they aren't removable. I love this toy. It's like 2 childhood things smashed together, and it's great. It's one of the crossovers I've wanted ever since they announced the revival of the crossover line. Now all I gotta do is a Godzilla thing, and that would be epic. Like, I don't know, Triptychon Mechagodzilla, like, that'd be awesome. But yes, I do recommend getting this. I don't know if I would recommend getting all 4 unless you're like really into the Ninja Turtles, but at least having one is nice because you can swap it out whenever you want to be whatever character you want to be. They give you everything to do that. You don't have to buy anything separate. It's all there, and that's my biggest pro with this toy is it's all built in. Everything is there. But that's my look at Party Wallop. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.